The fish? Estás-me a ouvir? Assumo que sim. Ok. A sério? Ok. Então bora lá começar. Okay. Hey guys. So, I had the idea to start to stream some of my game development, and what I'm going to do on these streaming sessions is to create one of my own levels using my own tools in Unity 3D. So let's start from how I do this. Give me just a second. Okay. Alright, so this is not very clear. I have to scan this better next time, but basically I start to do my own levels by hand. So I grab a piece of paper, a pencil usually, and start to do some sketches. Nothing very fancy. Usually I started to make it a bit more square-like than anything else. Sorry. Usually I start to make it a bit more square-like than anything else because it's easier to define the squares and curves, and after that I start to add the extra kinds of details. So to start, this position here is where my character is going to show up, and then he's going to have some platforms around. You can see some small characters around here with a question mark on top of their head. Those are quest givers, and they will give the character some task to do. We are going to have some flamethrowers around here, so there are some hazards around the field that the character has to avoid. The strategy here is that we are going to have some boxes passing here on top of the under the flamethrowers, and the character has to be under them to be able to move on, otherwise he'll hit the flamethrowers and be pushed back. And there's some other hazards like spines that come out of the floor, so the character has to take some time to understand the pattern around them and jump. Okay, so this is the first part of the Canyon Factory level, and this is the second part. There's some new elements around here. So basically we'll have a rock at some point falls off the air and we'll go through a tunnel. The character will have to be fast, be quick, avoid the rock by going to safe places, and then have a good timing, waiting for the next rock to come up and then just go after it. And there will be some other platforming sections that he has to avoid and to be fast enough to jump over them. Okay, let me just do some testing. So let's start to open Unity 3D for that. It's the first time I stream, so I'm constantly asking if the quality is okay and so on. Because I'm doing this on my laptop, it's wireless, so the connection may not be the best, unfortunately. So, from time to time I'm going to go back to this sketch here just to compare it with what I have. But one thing at a time. So this is one of my levels. We can ignore it for now, but we'll probably come back to it at a later point, because there's a lot of things that we can use here as a reference. So let's create a new scene. I like to create new and save it right away, just to avoid any problems. Scenes, Meridian Island. This is the name that I gave to the starting island of the game. And let me just check something. How do you write canyon? Is it 2 N's, 1 N? Oh, it's confusable letters in English. Canyon. Okay, I got it right. It's 1 N. So let's give the name Canyon Factory. This is the name of our Unity scene. Save. Okay. So far so good. We have a scene here. Okay. So usually the way I start is by adding something as a reference. It's usually the main character. I like to keep it like that because I can see how big my field is or how small it is, and make sure that I'm not making a level that's not consistent in terms of size. So let's search here in the project menu, grab Arcs, which is our main character, and zoom in on the guy. And also zoom in on the scene because we actually want to see a lot. Okay, so let's move him to 0, 0 because this is our starting point, and let's save a bit. And this is the starting point of our scene when we enter when we enter in it. So the next step, as you saw here on this sketch, we should be around here somewhere. We want to start to draw some stair-like terrain for the character to have a platforming section. So I created my own terrain tool. We can come here to the object, terrain, and it's going to be an open terrain. There you go. Let's move this up just a little bit. This should be okay. Okay. So, as I was saying, if you look here at our sketch, we have a platform, 2 stair-like platforms, and then a longer platform once again. So I'm going to press Ctrl and right click on the mouse to create a stair here, more like a section in this case, and second stair section. And yeah, that's it. Let's just add a bit of floor height. Set filling low point. This is it. Okay. So now, as you can see, we already have a starting point for our own level. It's not much, but it's the beginning. So after this, we have these 2 stair sections. We are going to make another big one. The idea here is that the character will not be able to jump to it just by jumping normally. He has to go through a platforming section. So let's see, something along the lines of this, and this should be okay. I doubt he'll be able to jump from here to here, but we can take a look, why not? We can't check in on the game because we don't have our camera ready yet. So let's try to test it on the scene window here. Takes a bit more time than for the first time. Okay, so he's moving. That's cool. He's jumping here without any problems. This is not supposed to be any challenge, just normal jumping platforms. And yeah, we definitely can't go up there, which makes perfect sense, really. Cool. What have I done? Okay. Alright, so this is part of our first section of the level. Now what's going to happen here is that we have a stair there, I forgot about that. Let's go back just a little bit. Place is here, and yeah, it's pretty much the same. Next, we are going to have 2 platforms here and some hazards. It's basically a pit with some spikes on the bottom. So let's start to make that pit in there. I usually like to split my scene into different terrain sections. So I'm going to leave this one here and create another one. And why not just create game object called terrains and drag the terrains inside it just to keep things a bit more organized as we go. So let's try to create a new terrain. Once again, an open one, and this is pretty big, bigger than I was expecting, really. That's not a problem at all for us, right? So I want my character to be able to see what's down there. So I think I'm going to place the terrain at this point. Give him a bit of filling, bottom filling. And maybe make this a bit smaller. We don't want it to be as big as it was. Yeah. So this is basically our pit. This is where we are going to have our own the hazards, the spikes. So that's okay. And then it goes up and builds a small section here where we'll have the quest giver that I told you guys about. So let's make remaining section. Yeah. So far so good. Let's make this one a bit bigger. And that's it. So let me just move this a bit more to the side. Okay, seems good to me. Let's save. And now it would be nice to have some platforms here just to test this. Let me just try to find it. This one is a bit small. It's something a bit bigger. Okay, this a bit bigger again. Okay, not so big. Let's just go with the 16 by 1. If something we can just scale it not too bad. So I want to have two platforms, jump from both the platforms and be able to jump to the next section here. So I think I'm going to drag this section a bit closer. We don't need it to be that far away. This seems fine as well. Okay, so let's drag this here. Cool. So we have our own platform here. Let's make a copy of it. Move these a bit. Want to make sure that we can jump without any major problem. And move our main character here to the top. Just to test this section once again. We have our life bar in there. You can ignore that for now. And let's try this a bit later because I'm streaming. So let's try to jump from here to the platform. Yeah, no can do, no way. We need to make this a bit smaller. He can't jump that much. Grab the platform, move it a bit to the side. Let's put them together, closer. Yeah, that should get. Let's give it another go just to see how it works. And I fell again. I think this time it's my fault, really. Okay, no problem here. Let's try to the next one. Yeah, no problem either. And I fell again, but yeah, it seems okay. I think I'm going to have to move this platform section a bit more to the side. That shouldn't be a big issue. Maybe I can even move it down here because what's the point of having it so high? Let's try again. Okay. Okay. It's a bit difficult to play the game while I'm streaming because everything is slower in terms of response time. So jump. Okay, no problem. Jump again, no problem. And let's try this section now, and yeah, no problem. I didn't even need to grab. That's fine. I think I can bring the pit a bit up. I'm doing this because later. Let me just do this. Yeah, like this. I'm doing this because later I want the camera, when the character's here looking at the platform, I want the camera to show to the player that he will have some hazards here, some spikes that he can touch, otherwise he just takes some damage. So that's why I'm bringing the pit a bit up. I don't want those spikes to be invisible, hidden, because the camera is just not in range of, not in the same range. Okay, that's good. So we have another small section here. So let's take a look what's coming after. So since we were creating these platforms here, I think it's a good idea to also create these ones now, since we are on it. I mean, why not? And I also noticed that we have some extra area here for the platform. The idea is that we jump to this one and then to this to get to the next section. Okay, not a big issue. So let's just create that. We can click on this button here. I don't know if it's visible on the stream, but we can split the terrain. We create another split around here. An extra split and bring this one up. And the final split to make this more square-like. Okay. I think I can bring it up. It's a platform game. We are supposed to make the character jump very often. At least that's how I see this level for now. Let's save. Okay. So, like I said before, we are going to start to create these platforming sections here. So the idea is that we are down here on the bottom, jump 1, 2, go to the next section, jump 1, 2, and go to the next section. So that's exactly what we are going to do now. So let's grab this platform here, copy it, and place it somewhere around here. This should be okay, I think. Move it a bit more to the side there. Copy it, bring it up here, and now we have an extra section here. So for this extra section I'm going to use once again the terrain tool, but this time I'm going to create a different type of terrain. It's going to be a closed terrain because we want it to be completely closed. It's a bit difficult to understand what's the difference, but basically on a closed terrain from this tool we will have a ceiling here on the bottom, while on this one we won't have a ceiling. And you can see it, we can see that we don't have an extra property here, that's the filling, because it doesn't make sense to have a filling low point just like in this one, in this other terrain, because here you can make it go down or go up, while this one the filling is encapsulated by the points that make the terrain. So just a small explanation how the system works. So we want to make a small terrain section here. Let's make it like this. And there's a hidden area. I'm not going to take care of that hidden area here, at least not for now, but I'm going to create a terrain platform for it. So we can just do it like this. Sorry, let me go again. Okay, so there's a stair. I'm just going to move this a bit to the side. Let's bring this up. Make it a bit bigger. Yeah, that looks about right. This is why I always like to have my character on the scene, because like this I can check how big or small something is. And one thing that I'm noticing here is that he's going to jump, do something like this, and come inside this section. So I think I can make this hole just a little bit bigger. Why not? Just to make sure that he passes without any problem. He's not going to hit with his head on the ceiling when he jumps from here to here. So small details, but always important to have them into account. So let's place the character in the beginning, run the game again, and jump. Can grab frame rate is very choppy. Okay, so this may be a problem. Yeah, he can't get there. He can't get up there. Well, he actually can by grabbing, but I think that's a bit too much. So let's bring this a bit down. Bring this a bit down and closer to the other platform as well. And do the same with this one, of course. Here we are. And let's try to go over this section once again. So yeah, he grabbed the platform, no problem. Now I fell down. Jump here. And yeah, I think it's not going to be a problem at all. Yeah, not at all. So everything's fine. I think the scale is good as well. Yeah. And now we have this extra platforming section here. So repeat. Just grab some additional platforms, copy and paste them, and make sure that they're okay. I can always make some smaller platforms that would be useful for sure, but for now I'm going to just keep it as a prototype level thing, so make them all the same and later optimize the level, make it more difficult, more challenging, and add some other smaller platforms, other bigger ones, and so on. It will also depend on the art style. Let's grab. So we know that this is a given. We don't have any problems in there. Now what we have to do is test this small section here. I'm also going to try something else. So yeah, I can jump here. I'm not going to hit my head, but I'm still going to raise the platform a bit. Frame rate gets a bit choppy, so he doesn't react very well to the colliders. Okay, so he was able to jump here on top. Jump to this one, jump to this one, and then to the last one. No biggie, no issue. And he's able to do it the opposite way as well. Okay, so I guess this section is done as well. So far so good. And what's after that? Okay, so now we need to go vertically. We can have the same strategy. Copy this, I missed it. Copy this platform, place it here, here. I think these are a bit too far. He jumps a lot, but not that much. Yeah, so I think this is about right. And then let's create this platform section here. And I'm going to try this terrain around as well. And I think I'm going to create a game object for the platforms. Otherwise, we'll have a lot of platforms hanging around here, which is a bit difficult to see all the hierarchy window. Okay, so let's create another terrain, and this time it's a closed one, not UI. 2D, terrain, closed terrain. Here we are, a good measure already, which is always good. Move this. Move this. Seems good to me, I think. Yeah. So, like I said before, this is the section where we are going to have the flamethrowers, and then a rock, a boulder, whatever you want to call it. It's going to work like a shield. When it passes under the flamethrowers, the flame doesn't go to the bottom, so we can move on and on and on through this platforming section. So it's supposed to be slightly big section, not as big as this, I think, but let's give it a try just to see. So I would say something like here is a good ending point. We would have 3 flamethrowers, about 3 around here. Maybe I'm going to move this a bit more to the right. And now make a stair for him to jump into. Let's raise this. How many are they? 2 stairs. This up here. Oh, not this one. Up here. I think I moved this a bit too much. Yeah, that looks about right, I think. Okay, so then we will have a taller section around here. Let me start to handle that. Let's move this a bit more to the side. Could probably just make this a bit more bigger. I have to take into account that I'm going to have some enemies in these platforming sections. So it's good to give them some space for them to move around, to have some decent battles. Otherwise, we are going to constantly fall on top of the enemies. And that's no good, not good at all. So let's keep that into account for a good level design as well. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's fine. Good size as well. So now back to this one. I'm going to have a small platform section here. Let's create another part of the terrain. Let this one come up because we want a wall here. We don't want to let the character pass. We'll probably have to give a bit more volume here, but one thing at a time. No need to rush it for now. Yeah, that's okay. So let's do exactly what we were doing before. Test it. Let's move the main character. Place it here. Okay. Able to jump in. I think I need to hide this health bar. This is not helping at all. Much better. Okay, this one is pretty easy. This one as well. This one and this one. Okay, so now this is the section I was talking about with the flamethrowers. So it needs to be big enough to have 3 flamethrowers, but we don't want it just to be a very long section where we have to walk and walk and walk. So I think this should be about right. So we would have 1 flamethrower here, so we would have to wait a few seconds here. Move on to the next part. Wait, move on to the next part. Wait a bit more, move on and jump. Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll jump here as well. Jump and grab. That's okay. And now we'll have to jump to another section there on the top. So this is the section I'm talking about. I'm going to add another close terrain for it right now. One thing is that we can move this one up. Move this as well. Yeah, so just to keep the terrains consistent between each other. We don't want any empty space or anything here. Like this is okay. Let's save. Add this terrain to our terrains parent. Create a new close terrain. Here he is, a bit too big I think, but we'll sort this out in no time. Move this on here. This as well. We don't want this section to be that big, I think. Oh, well, here on the design, we have it the same size as this small platform. Sorry, big platform. quite long. I think it's not a problem to make it as big, I guess. We could have some battles around here, some enemy characters, some hazards around. That would make it fun and challenging. Move this up. And a bit more up. And I think that's it. I think it's okay. Let's try. So let's bring arcs here. Do a close up. Jump. Grab. It's very laggy. Jump. Okay, I would like him to grab this section here. I need to bring this one up as well, so he doesn't jump here and then goes off the map. That's definitely not what we want. Can you see my frame rate? Seems okay. I don't know why it looks so bad. Oh no, it's fine. Yeah. Got choppy again. So we can jump here, grab. I'm going to make this section a bit bigger for him to go back and jump. Yeah, so small improvements. Let's make this part go a bit to the side. Bigger. Let's make this section bigger as well. Let's bring this a bit up. Or even better. Bring this up. This should be okay. Save and repeat. One jumps. Should grab. Once again, it doesn't do it first try because the video makes the game choppy. Jump, grab. Grab. Also, he can jump. Okay, so that's fine. I could move this a bit more to the side. And now we have this section here where, like I said before, I'm going to make some enemies. I'm going to make some other hazards for him. And yeah, that seems about right to me. So let's make this a bit bigger, make this a bit taller. And that's fine. Yeah, just going to the side as well. Yeah, that's it. It's starting to look a bit more like a level now. There's still a lot of things to add here, but one thing at a time. So now we are going to make this section here. The idea here is that we will have some hazards, some spikes on the bottom, on the floor, some platforms that move left and right, and we are going to have another platform here. This is a bit of a different one. It's going to rotate from time to time, so it's going to be a matter of timing really. When the character is on top of it, it has to stay here and jump a few times and wait for the next platform to come. All of this has to be timed, but yeah, one thing at a time. That will come in another time. So let's move this train here. Create another one. Train closed. How do I want it? I want it to come down. How do I think about it? Okay, let's get just to see how it is. I'm going to be able to jump there. That's okay. This should go up. Sorry. I want to extend this section, not make another one. At least not for now. Bring this one up, about this, height, this as well. And now we have this part here. So, one small detail is that on top of this platform there's going to be some stairs that go down. And then we will have to lower the ladder, go down the ladder to get to this character here. So, one of the ideas of making this kind of levels is that we should give players some more connection. We don't want them to go back all the way when they have to deliver the quest to these quest givers here. That's boring. They already went through the obstacles of the level. They already surpassed the challenges. So let's make the life easier for the player to make for a smoother and better experience. Otherwise, it's just going to be a repetition of platforms and he won't be able to see anything new. So we have to make sure that this platform is around the same axis as this one here on the bottom, where we'll have the quest givers. So far so good. I think we are doing a very good job around it. Yeah, this seems a bit more like this. Yeah, so this is this section here. Then we'll have some other platform section, and then a ladder to go down. Okay, I think it's fine as it is. Make it a bit more smaller, in fact. Yeah. So this is somewhat the skeleton of the first part of the level. There will be 3 parts. I only showed you 2. I'm still making the second one, and yeah, that's all for today. On the next day, on the next stream that I make about this, I think I'm going to start to add some extra hazards. I'm going to make these platforms here as well. I'll probably go into a bit more coding, not just level design, just to try to make these things a bit more, add some extra live animation to it, make it a bit more challenging and playable from the beginning to the end. I think that's a good first step. Alright guys, thank you for watching, have a good day, see ya.